Guy Bascom, I have a warrant to search your premises, sir. Where's your son? Where's your son?
He's in his bedroom. Do you need me 44?
Where is he?
Mom! Hey, he's only a kid, mate.
Okay.
Hey!
Jamie Miller.
What's going on?
The time is 6:15 a.m. and I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder.
What do you mean?
You do not have to say anything. But Mr. Miller! Mr. Miller, I will arrest you for obstruction. Please stop. Please. I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Dad,
do you understand?
I haven't done anything!
Do you
Dad.
understand?
Son,
do you understand?
Just tell him you understand, Jay.
All right, I understand.
Okay, good. Get up slowly, please.
Hello, Phil. Hello, Jack.
Hello.
This is Gezer from Budapest, and I'll try to ask questions from both of you. So, how was it to working together? Does it take to write differently a series where are no cuts, and what's the beauty or horror for you to directing episodes like that? It's like a 4-hour movie with 4 cuts.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Or it's like 4 single films.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it sort of works. And that's what I love about it, that we couldn't tell all the story. The incompleteness of our story was sort of bedded into this. You know, that we get to look in one direction for an hour, and from that one direction we get to have some sense of the story. We get to have some sense of Jamie's reality, and then we move on and we see something differently, and that these 4 pieces add together to tell to create something of a picture, but not all of it. So the audiences are forced to look in, they're forced to lean in, and actually that to me is the most exciting thing about telling stories this way.
You approach it in a different way. It's almost like theatre, you know, where you rehearse a lot, and then when we shoot it, we would rehearse for 2 weeks, and then we would shoot it twice every day for 5 days. So we have, by the end of each week, we have 10 takes to choose from. So per episode. So when we all have a big argument about which take we like the most, we then decide, and then we move on to the next one, and then we rehearse for 2 weeks, and then we shoot it 10 times. And so the challenge is, you know, there's a lot of prep that goes into it way before any actors come on board. You know, myself, Jack, and Stephen in the writing process and in the script process is, you know, trying to, you know, understand how we can move from place to place seamlessly. And one of the rules that we had was that the camera is not allowed to leave a person. And what you get is just little pockets of individual stories, and each episode is an individual pocket of an overall story. You know, so we're dipping the audience into these 4 moments in time in a timeline, which spans around 13 months.
Can you tell me a little about the craft? I mean, if you are shooting movie, I guess in one scene you can be very angry, then you can be very gentle. But in this case, you needed to, I don't know, to switch rapidly, and this is much quicker than life. So how can you prepare for that?
I think, in a sense, like at first, it's really daunting. Like when you lay it out like that and you go, oh my God, how am I going to achieve everything emotionally that I'd like to achieve? But actually, it forces you to trust yourself, trust the other actors, and just know, okay, if I'm present, my human instinct will take over. And whatever I choose to do in the moment has got to be right. Like there's no time for self-judgment or self-flagellation if you don't do something that you wanted to do. You've just got to be present. And actually, there's such a wonderful gift in that I really hope to take forward, is that just the minute you jump off that cliff and go, okay, well, if I smack my head there and flap over that, like that's part of it. That's what that thing is. And actually, there's no room for beating yourself up about it. And like, I wasn't sat there opposite Owen going, oh, I wouldn't have done it like that. No, he comes out with things and you respond. Like, we're all human beings. So actually it forces you to just get out your own head, which I think all performances, well, the performances that I gravitate towards anyway, you can tell that they're just alive in the moment, and shooting this way encourages that. And so I'd shoot this way for the rest of my life if I could.
What was the hardest moment together in the first episode? Do you remember that?
Oh, hardest moment. Hardest moment was definitely getting into that before they said action. So like I'd be in my room, and then he'd call action, and they'd bang on the door, and then if I didn't get into the emotions by then, I don't think I wouldn't be able to do it throughout the whole episode. So I'd get frustrated a lot, but I managed to do it eventually.
Do you think you got your best takes? Are you happy with your takes in the show?
What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean,
Really?
I think Phil and the team got the best takes, and those are going to be the best takes. But I think as an actor, there's always part of you that feels like, I didn't like the way I did that, or that little bit, you know, and that was part of the process as well. It's just about letting go. Like Erin said before, it's like someone throws a line at you or whatever that you're not expecting them to do it in that way. It doesn't mean it's wrong. There is no wrong in this process. It's about you just responding accordingly, right? And as long as we did that, I think all the takes were good, even if they weren't to the script.
Yeah.
Is that the best take the director took for the film, or you had a different feeling that you had one better, maybe?
Episode 3, the only thing I didn't like about episode 3 was my voice. How my voice was knackered. I lost my voice because I was shouting and screaming twice a day. So, yeah, but episode 3 was, that take that they used was amazing. And episode 1 was the second take.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my favourite take, so I'm happy they chose that one.
That was my favourite take. And as well, you know, look, it's different as well, because normally a director has several different takes to put together, and then the editor also has that same process. But within this context, there had to be, you know, each take that was used was the best take from all aspects, you know what I mean? It has to be the best with respect to the technical elements, but also, most importantly, we always wanted it to be the best take from the performance, really, because that's what drives the story, do you know what I mean?
I don't like to meet cops or psychiatrists, but I do love to watch them on screen. So why do you think this fascination comes from, not only from me, but all the moviegoers, TV watchers?
I don't know. Maybe because they're doing jobs that we kind of flirt with the idea of doing, but actually we'd never do ourselves. You know, because they're hard jobs. They're hard jobs. We may take both of those professions for granted, but you know, on one end you've got a psychiatrist that is like listening to everyone else's problems on a daily basis and taking that home with them. I mean, who does their psychiatry?
Yeah.
Like, who talks to them, right? And then you've got police that are thrown into like really scary situations that most of us would quake in our boots at, you know, dealing with murders, crime, and people shooting at them and pulling knives and stuff. And so, you know, they're both jobs that I don't think I'd really want to do, but to watch someone in those positions is quite fascinating. You know, I have a lot of admiration for those jobs.
It's not only a cop movie, it's not only a psychological movie, it's not about only a crime, it's also about a system, it's also about our society.
Yeah.
So was it deliberate to make a commentary about that?
Yes, very
Absolutely.
deliberate. And we are petrified for the future of our boys. And looking into these dark places, going on a journey into incel culture, there is a logic that is being sold to these kids, which is so attractive to them, which makes sense of the world to them, and which is wrong, and which distorts their view on the world, and which causes harm. And we've got to, as a society, look at this stuff. And what we hope this show is a loud shout to people to go, look at your kids, look at this world. We need government help. We need cultural help. We need parental help. We need educational help, because these kids are being dragged down into a hell, and we need to stop that happening.
I can't agree enough, and thank you so much for making this show.